So yeah, I've seen a lot of people asking about how to level up a lot faster, and some people even maxed out their scoreboard right now. They hit level 150, and that's insane for being 2 days that they grinded that much XP. And I think one person said it took them like 8 hours to do. So if you think about it, that's actually really crazy, going from from 1 to actually maxing it out at 150. So yeah, I'm basically going to show you how to buff your XP the highest if you don't have too much time to kill, and get the most out of what you do play. So I'm pretty much going to try to make this into sections and not make them too long. So the first off, we're going to start with a more permanent buff, such as equipment and specials, etc. First off, on intelligence, you want to max it out pretty much. That affects your XP overall. So like I said, you want to get that as high as possible. Whatever build you're running, you want to try to, whatever your build allows pretty much. So there's really no limit to intelligence when it comes to the game. So you really want to try to get that, as long as your build allows it, whatever, you can implement different things into it. And especially like legendary perk cards, whatever, you can always get your intelligence as high as possible. So an example would be like a legendary perk. If you max that out, normally you can have plus 15 base, but if you max that out, you'll have plus 20. For those of you that wear power armor, you want to take the internal database mod that adds plus 2 intelligence. And for normal armor, such as unyielding gear, which is what I recommend, it adds plus 15 intelligence. And for your under armor, you want to have shielded casual type or plus 3 intelligence. Next up, we have mutations. Those are going to be really big when it comes to any type of XP buff. So with a public team, you always want to have herd mentality. It's pretty much a must-have for anything XP related, and it does give plus 2, but if you have the strange in numbers perk card, you get plus 3 with it. Another mutation that I carry myself and that I do recommend is Egghead. You get plus 6 intelligence, so again, boosting your intelligence as high as possible. So for herbivore, carnivore, they both have some pros to them, so that's going to be one of the sections that I divide up. So next we have perks, and basically everybody knows about inspirational. That's one of the ones that almost everybody runs. Depending how much you max it out, or if you put any levels into it at all, it's one of those that you get plus 5%, 10, and 15% per rank, but this does not stack, so it's either just 5, 10, or 15, whether if you're willing to put points into it or not. Alright, and like I mentioned earlier, Strange in Numbers gives a plus 25% buff to mutations that boost. One perk card that is a little iffy on your build is Night Person. That gives you plus 3 intelligence only at night. So you want to make sure you're only running that at night, but you also want to remember that it doesn't stack. So it's one of those where it's kind of hit or miss if you want to run it or not. But if you do, just remember, only do it at night. Another perk you can take is Chem Fiend. It's optional, but when you're running Berry Mentats for the duration boost, that does make it a little bit longer. So it is worth it if you're trying to do a quick run here and there. So next up we have public teams. These are always important. As long as you're in a casual team, you get plus 4 intelligence if you have a full team. So at all times you want to try and run a full party. Obviously you can't do that all the time, but that does give you the highest boost to your intelligence. Alright, so now we move on to the carnivore section. So whenever you run this one, this is one of the mutations where it's a little bit different. There are certain things that can boost it, certain things that don't. So you imagine different brews for herbivores. You get no change in XP whatsoever for that because you don't get the effect. So make sure you're running things that aren't for herbivores. One of the first things is Tasty Squirrel Stew. You get plus 10% XP base, but if you have a carnivore boost, the mutation, you get plus 20% and plus 25% with Strange in Numbers. Another really great option is the Broiled Scorched Beast Brain. With that, you get plus 3 intelligence base, and again, if you have a carno mutation, you get plus 5 intelligence. and plus 7.5% with strange in numbers. Alright, so for the herbivore boost, pretty much this is what I run, so I'm pretty familiar with it. You want to get brain fungus soup as your first one. With a base of +2 intelligence, it's really great for anybody, but if you're running herbivore, you get +4 and +5 intelligence with herbivore and strange in numbers. Another one, if you don't want to farm brain fungus, you can get brain bombs. Those give a base of +3 intelligence, and with herbivore, you get +5, and then you get +7.5 intelligence with herbivore and strange in numbers. And next we have cranberry relish, which gives +10% XP and 20% +25% with strange in numbers. So overall, for a general boost, these all stack with both carno and herbivore. These are just, general boosts that pretty much all stack together. Berry mentats are one of the easiest things to get. You can find them literally everywhere. If you install a mod that makes them glow, it makes finding them even easier. So with berry mentats, you get +5 intelligence and also a lunchbox. They're pretty much handed out free, and they really don't cost anything. Sometimes they even give you like 5 at a time. Lunchboxes are really great overall, especially if other people use them. You get +25% XP per use, but just remember that they only stack up to 100%. So you just want to be careful, don't use all of them because there's really no need for it. Just hold off until the next run. And you can stack them on yourself, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Another really great option are leader bobbleheads. Now, they're only +5%, so they're really not worth, farming or buying. But if you do have some laying around, or, someone can give you some, whatever the case, they're pretty good. But just use what you got, don't try to go out farming for them. It's pretty hard. I've only found like 2. So normally you see people offering, script for whatever. Maybe they're buying them, so just, like I said, think of it as a third option, but don't go out looking for them. Another pretty viable option is the Live and Love #8, the magazine. It gives +5% XP in a team. I wouldn't really recommend farming it, but it's pretty good if you can get your hands on one. Another one that pretty much everybody should know is the Well Rested bonus. You get +5% XP for 1 hour. Pretty much just laying in bed for 30 seconds, I think, and you pretty much just get +5% XP for a whole hour. Along with the Well Rested bonus, if you have a camp ally, it does make that a little bit longer for the duration. So I think you can get 2 hours and 3 hours for a kindred spirit and the lover's embrace. So definitely try to get an ally and just kind of play with it. You can always see how long it'll be, so just try to see which one you can get the longest with. Alright, so now we're on the section of pretty much the best XP spots you can go to, just location wise and kind of what you can expect there. The first one, everybody always mentions West Tech Research Center, just for all the super mutants you can find there. Overall, you really want to find a place that has the most enemies or most mobs pretty much crumpled up together. If they're more spread out, that's fine, but you want to find a spot where you can do quick runs and rinse and repeat, get the most XP out of your runs. As I mentioned, West Tech is really good for super mutants. You can go to the Generalist Steakhouse and National Radio Array for super mutants as well. The White Springs Resort is also a really good spot. The Charleston Capitol Building is a really good spot as well. The Burrows, you can go to the Crimson Prospect. And also, pretty much everybody knows this, but events are also really, really great for XP. You want to make sure to run them as, often as possible. The ones you do want to look out for that give the most XP are going to be Radiation Rumble, Line in the Sand, One Violent Night, Guided Meditation, Project Paradise, Heart of the Swamp, Uranium Fever. Those are all going to be, pretty much at the top of the list when it comes to events to run. And especially now with the new, Skyline Valley update, pretty much, the ones that say level 50 plus recommended are the ones that you want to be going to. Those are going to have the most people helping out, the biggest groups. So always try to go to those as soon as they pop up. So pretty much whenever you're running these events, I've seen a lot of people that don't tag and they're emptying their entire magazine on one mob. You don't want to do that. You're going to blow through ammo and you're not going to get the most XP. So if you want to maximize your XP gains, you really want to try to tag everything. One of the things that I like using is the Holy Fire, and that is a reward from an event drop. But if you can't get your hands on that, you can always use the Cremator and try to get splash damage or AoE damage on other mobs. Another thing you can use are like Molotovs if you just want to go the cheaper route, or if you have like a Tesla rifle, you can use it at events and pretty much try to tag everything, especially if you get like a quad build or a quad Tesla. You can also, definitely use that. That's really great as well. So pretty much, with all that, depending what build you're running, what mutations you have, definitely if you're carnivore, herbivore, you're looking at, from a chart perspective or numbers perspective, you're looking at some pretty high XP gains. Normally what I would recommend taking is, an overall stacked XP build. You're looking at, for carnivore, you want to take Tasty Squirrel Stew, and for herbivore, you want to take Cranberry Relish. That gives 25%. And then if you can, like I said, you don't have to, but you can always, find it or buy them. If you take the Leader Bobblehead, you'll get plus 5%. And the Live and Love magazine, number 8, you get 2% from that if you can get your hands on one. Plus all the lunch boxes, like I said, you can stack them to 100%. But it doesn't go past that, so you have 100% on that. Plus the Well Rested Kindred Spirit or Lover's Embrace, that's a 5% boost. And that's, plus Inspirational. If you max that out, you're getting 15% on that. So just from that overall, you're looking at 152% boost. That everything can pretty much stack together. So if you can maintain that, that's, some pretty insane XP experience overall. So like I said, you're looking at some pretty crazy XP gains, and definitely one that is, going to be helping you level up a lot faster. Maybe not 8 hours, finishing the entire scoreboard in 8 hours fast, but you're definitely looking some crazy XP gains. If you do, tie in everything that can stack together and add it up all together, like I said, you're looking at over 150% XP. So if you did find anything helpful, once again, appreciate everybody subscribing. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.